I always hear companies saying the exact same 5 words as a, a signal of their strategy or people are like, we don't need strategy. We know, like, we are here to democratize X, or we're here to make the world better. And they say, like, here, our strategy is we're human, we're accessible, we're empathetic, we're transparent, we're warm. I'm like, that is not a strategy. I do think that companies and individuals, are struggling to figure out how they can make a dent in a world that feels A, very complex, and B, kind of difficult to make change. We all know that change is possible, but I think the role of enterprise is increasingly affecting the way that the world operates. And so you're seeing it bottom up from within companies, right? Employees kind of demanding more of their employers. And so I'm holding the same for myself. And I think hopefully in a way that can even set an example for other companies, be like, are you doing this? Or I've seen a lot of companies, much like the way they define their audience now, it's like, we're for all. It's like, you're not for all. Like some rare companies are unfortunately for all. But that kind of like slow deterioration of kind of a sense of who is this for and why is it for them, leads to generalization. And I think that generalization isn't doing anybody any favors, and companies are quite nervous to put that line in the sand, right? Because it means like we might lose some people.
One of the challenges that brands have fallen into is this idea of, I need to scale and therefore I need to appeal to everyone, as opposed to going, you know what, like I'm going to stick to my knitting. I'm going to appeal to my group of people, and I'm just going to do that phenomenally well. And I think that's one of the most powerful lessons or messages that people who own brands and companies can hear, is like, be super specific about what's important to you, and therefore who do you serve? Because I think that can be a game changer.
For sure. You're a beacon in that sense. Like the more kind of clear you are about what you want to put into the world, the easier it is for people to find you. And whether you're a fit or not, they can tell, people want to put a frame around you, I think, for better or worse, that, has kind of pros and cons, but it's easier to then say, go talk to my friend Ross, go talk to Karin, go talk to whomever, because they really care about that. And I think that, that attitude, as you mentioned, does kind of inspire folks internally, because every project is, tough and challenging, especially when you're dealing with the complexities of brand and large companies and the subjective as a whole. So you need that kind of anchor motivation, I think. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like social impact work, right? Like that's I think, in my mind, this goes beyond that. It's just like, what do you care about? Period. That could be anything. It doesn't have to be inherently quote unquote good. I mean, good is subjective anyway and highly contextual. I think the companies that understand why they're doing something, the values that support them, the change they're seeking in the world, what they're pushing up against, and then know how to clearly and continuously communicate that internally and externally, are just building on those emotional drivers in a way that, as I mentioned earlier, is quite powerful and often gets lost.
And what is keeping me motivated? What is driving me? And I think if it just comes down to money, that can get old very quickly, and you lose that sort of meaning. So I think I'm fully with you that people who understand that work harder, and I think that feeling then permeates the brand, and it permeates every interaction people have with the company, and that allows the consumers or the customers of that brand to actually feel a little bit of that kind of coming at them, and therefore identify with it.
Something we like to think about, when I was at Collins, was the enemy. And, when you're putting together your brand strategy, thinking about like, what is the thing that you're pushing up against the world? I think a lot of companies will focus only on the positive, like we believe X, and those are great. Those are important things. But I personally even derive a lot of motivation from what I want to change and what I'm frustrated with or even angry at. I always hear companies saying the exact same 5 words as a signal of their strategy, or people are like, we don't need strategy. We know, like, we are here to democratize X, or we're here to make the world better. And they say, like, here, our strategy is we're human, we're accessible, we're empathetic, we're transparent, we're warm. I'm like, that is not a strategy. That is not a strategy, and everybody else is saying the same thing. And brand is also about thinking about what makes you unique, right? So when everybody's saying the same thing and everybody is creating brands around those same words that don't kind of clarify a purpose. To be clear, I respect those values, like, yes, I want a company to be accessible and open and inclusive. Yes, I want a brand to be, warm and not off-putting. But the difference again is in the nuance. A great example, I think we spoke about this a little bit before, is like, you can't argue with empathetic, right? It's like, yeah, that's emotional intelligence.
Yes.
We want to be empathetic in the world. But again, like, what the F does that mean to you in your business specifically when you're communicating out into the world? You have to pour meaning into your words, right? And I think sometimes you have to look at it. You might have a good starting place, but let's like fill that container. That's where I kind of am often trying to push companies to be like, what do you mean by this? Do other people on your team know what you mean by this? How is that unique to you? And how does that inform the way we design, your systems, the way you speak, what you're trying to implicitly communicate in the world, and how you show up in terms of just like principles of behavior?
Hello YouTube, I'm Ross Drakes, I'm the founder of Nice Work, and thank you so much for your time at watching this video. If you're seeing me, it means you made it all the way to the end, so we've at least done something right. If you enjoyed this, we'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And I think more important than that is if you know someone who might need to hear this, if you think someone out there who needs this message in their life, please spread the link, because it makes a huge difference to the world, and it allows us to fulfill our message of making sure that there are no more bad brands in the world. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next video.